Hi, so we're going to make Mrs. Goodfellow's jumbles, but first I'm going to show you all the things I have laid out on the counter here that we need to make the recipe. And that includes 3 cups of flour, 2 sticks of butter, an egg, a cup of sugar, spices, which really make this recipe what it is. It's fabulous. And that includes 2 teaspoons of nutmeg, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a half teaspoon of mace. And I have them all together here in this dish already. And then, of course, rose water. I already mentioned some of the ingredients that were popular in the 19th century, and rose water is definitely one of those. And you can get it I usually get it at Whole Foods or Wegmans, but a specialty grocery should be able to carry it. There's one in Morrisville, actually, this farm market. They often have it there, and it's often this Middle Eastern type, really fabulous. And I also wanted to show you, as I mentioned, about the ingredients. So in the 19th century, sugar was actually stored in this cone shape, and you would take off a little piece and pound it to a fine consistency to get what you needed. And also a nutmeg. This shows kind of how it's stored with the mace leaves around it, and then these are the mace leaves. So that's the way it grows, and then you take the mace. It's a spice in itself that you have to grind to a powder, and I actually did that with these mace leaves. Right here you can see that's what it looks like. I did that with my blender attachment, a grinding attachment, and it works really fabulous to do that. The same with the nutmeg. So this is the whole nutmeg, and you just take one of those and bring it out, and you have this nutmeg grater here, and that's how you grate the whole nutmeg, which really is much fresher than getting it. You can get it already ground in the store, which is fine to do that, but if you can, it's really nice to use these fresh spices. So let's get started. And usually I have to admit I do use a mixer, but today I'm going to try to do it the way Mrs. Goodfellow would have, just with a wooden spoon and mixing the ingredients together. So and this recipe is so easy. It really is just like a sugar cookie recipe. It's just these nice spices and the rose water that are added that make it different. But what I do with the butter is I leave it out on the counter for a while to soften it. Especially if you're not going to use your mixer, that really helps to make it softer. In the summer, it's much easier than it is in the winter to do that. But so anyway, I'm going to start with the 2 sticks of butter. And they need to be creamed together with the 1 cup of sugar. So we're just going to try that with the wooden spoon and see how that works. So the 2 sticks of butter, and here's my cup of sugar. I'm going to put that, and I have a clear mixing bowl here so you can kind of see. And we're just going to mix it together. The butter and sugar are mixed together. I'm going to add an egg and a tablespoon of rose water. So I'm just going to crack the egg into the bowl, and then the rose water here, and we need a tablespoon because rose water is lighter than like an extract, like a vanilla or almond extract. It's really the essence of rose petals, and some people actually use it in their beauty products because it smells so nice. You can use it as a perfume, but it really adds a fabulous component to baked goods as well. It has this really light kind of fragrant aroma, especially when the baked goods are cooking. So the jumbles are great with them, with the rose water. But you can also, if you wanted to substitute lemon extract or essence, you could do that instead if you can't find the rose water. I'm mixing all this together. You can see if you can see in the bowl here. Just mixing it together to get all that egg in there, and I have another little wooden This kind of helps mix it up a little bit better since we're not using an electric mixer, which does the work much quicker. I always joke that women from back in the 18th, 19th century, before there were these electronic appliances, probably had huge arms from doing all this stirring. Okay, so that looks good. And now we're going to sift the 3 cups of flour with the spices. So I have my sifter here, and here's the flour. So I'm going to just pour it into the sifter. Oops. A little bit's going over, but that's okay. Good. Okay. So I have that. And then I'm going to just put the spices in there too. Sift them all together. It's really nice. It smells so good with these spices. And then I'm just going to sift it right into the bowl. Oops, let's see. So you can see. Sift it in, and then I just kind of go like this to make sure it's all sifted. And there was a little bit of flour that was on this piece of wax paper, so I'm just going to do that. And then I'm just going to mix all this together. And once we have this dough mixed together, then we're going to let it chill for about 2 hours, just to make it easier to work with, because we need to roll it out to form the fun Jumbles circle shapes that looks like a ring. And I just wanted to show you the dough wasn't coming together great with the wooden spoon, so you can mix it with your hands, and that's something that they would have done back in the 19th century as well. And as you can see, it's mixing together into a really, really nice dough. So this is, how we're going to put it in the refrigerator to chill it for the 2 hours. Okay, so now we're going to prepare the jumbles for baking. And so I have the dough here in the bowl, and rolling pin. Mine has a cover, but feel free to use whatever kind that you have. And then some parchment paper lined baking sheets. This is the parchment paper that you use to line baking sheets. And then I just have some flour, since we'll need to go ahead and put the jumbles out to roll them out. So I have the flour. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the counter here. Put a little bit on my rolling pin, and then I'm going to break off a piece of the dough here, because I'm not going to do all the dough at one time. I'm just going to do a little bit at a time, and I just kind of go like this. It was chilled, but you just warm it a little bit with your hands. And then I'm going to take my rolling pin and just roll out this little piece here, turn it so that it's about, I'd say, a ½ inch thick, something like that, just into like a small square. Like that. And then I'm just going to take a small paring knife, which I have over here, whoops, like this. And what I'm going to do is cut little strips of this dough. And I'm going to form it into a ball and then roll it like this between my fingers. Oops. And then form it into a ring shape. Like that. And then I put it on the baking sheet, and then I just keep doing that with the rest. I'll just show you a couple more. So I'm forming it, and then I wrap it around into this ring shape. Now, I've also seen it done where you can roll it into the ball, into the rope shape, like on the counter, oops, and then form it like this, So feel free to do it, whatever method works the best for you and whatever is easiest for you. And then once we get all of them, then we'll go ahead and put them in the oven. Okay, so now I have the first tray ready to go into the oven. I will show you. It looks like this. And we want to put it in a 375-degree oven. So I'm just going to turn around here, and you can see I'm going to go ahead and pop them in. And they'll go in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. And then when they come out, I'll show you, we actually sprinkle a little bit of just regular granulated sugar on them, and that's how they finish. Okay. So now we're ready to take the jumbles out of the oven. They're going to be slightly browned. Tilt that so you can see. They look great and they smell great. So this is they look like when they come out, and then I'm just going to put them here to cool. And then I have this little shaker that has just some granulated sugar in it. And then all you do is just shake some sugar on the cookies while they're still warm. And usually, you would let them cool for a little bit and then transfer them over. But I'll just show you, you just want to transfer them to a wire rack so that they're cooled the rest of the way. And enjoy them. They're really, like I said, they're a fabulous, different cookie. They're like a sugar cookie, but they definitely bring it up a notch with the rose water and nutmeg and other spices. Enjoy.